third session, Recharge on Monday, with Trey, our athletic trainer, and Cliff, our charge nurse, and I'm Dr. von Bregalski, and we will follow Trey. Have some fun.
Hello everyone, today we're going to do an extended warm-up. So first we're going to start off and we're just going to do some high knees here. We're going to get the legs moving, get the heart rate up. Long weekend. And what we want to do here is making sure we're going opposite legs and opposite arms. So if my left leg goes up, my right arm goes up, just like if we were walking and running outdoors. So now if you want to pick up pace a little bit, you can do that. You can even start skipping.
And maybe you have some music in the background, just do it. It makes things so much easier.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Trey has to sing.
So now you kind of loosen back down, cool down a little bit. And now we're going to work on our balance. We're going to engage our glutes here. So we're going to drive one knee up. You're going to take both hands. You're going to hold that for just a second. Come back down, shake them out. Opposite leg. So this is a very nice, easy introductory balance exercise. You can do one arm, have something next to you, have someone next to you, help you keep your balance. And if you're feeling a little comfortable, you can drive that knee up towards your chest a little higher and really get some movement going in those hips. Do about 2 or 3 more of these. Then we're going to go back to our high knees. And this time we will go a little bit faster. So now that you're off, now we go back to high knees. Dr. V is skipping. We're doing a more dynamic version. Cliff and I are still doing a bit of a faster pace in place. Dr. V is also skipping forward and backwards. You can do that as well if you have space. Make sure there's nothing around you. All right, so by now your hip flexors are probably feeling a little bit of a burn. So let's do some hip side to side here. And you can hang out. You can go for a little bit of speed. You can hop to one side and kind of bounce back in and out of that. Get yourself a nice little stretch for that lateral aspect of the hip. You can throw in a reach. Good. If you can hear Cliff, he's popping and cracking everywhere.
That's right. Me too.
All right. So now you're going to take one knee up, and then you're going to rotate that out almost like you're opening a door. So if your hip is a door, you're opening it. Go ahead and do 10 of these.
Alternating?
Nope, just 10 on one leg.
Oh. Me? On the phone? Excuse me one moment.
If a important call?
I'm going to switch over to my left. If you're not done with those 10, that's perfectly fine. Take your time. What we don't want to see is just kind of doing this. You really want to drive that knee up as high as you can. If you have questions, comments, concerns, you want to focus on anything throughout the workout or in the next workout, go ahead and hit us with a message in that chat, and we'll try to address it as best we can. So go ahead and shake those legs out. Now we're going to do the opposite. So we're going to bring that knee out first and then to the front. So now we're closing our door, and this time we are going to alternate. What you can do, if you have something at home, like a small trash can, maybe even a little bit of a bigger one, you can focus and practice on getting over that trash can to really engage and challenge your range of motion at the hip. Let's do a few more while we alternate. If you have any kind of balance deficit, place a chair out in front of you. Help you maintain balance. Make sure you're in a safe space. There's nothing around you that you can fall and hurt yourself on. Good. Your hips should be nice and warm at the moment. So let's go back to our high knees, our marching knees. All right. I want to check out those legs. And let's go back to our nice and trusty 3D arm movement. So we're going to go overhead like we're doing snow angels. And I want your palms to face forward. So notice my palms are saying hello to you. And in a moment here, we're going to switch over. So my pinkies are facing you now. So now my pinkies are facing the camera, and your pinkies should be facing us.
So I just picked up some water bottles for a little more weight and challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. So water bottles, 16 ounces of water, a hydro flask, little weights.
Actually, a little bit of weight, Ray, always helps me, not a lot, but a little bit to move more purposeful and feel it just a little better.
Yeah.
Without any.
All right. Shake out those arms. Now we're going to go thumbs out in front facing the camera, and you're closing them. And as you come back, you're making sure you're squeezing your shoulder blades like you're trying to hold a pencil between your shoulder blades. We're going for about 10 of these.
I move my hips a little bit, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. You can always go to the side. If you got a little bit of rhythm, dance to the beat of whatever music you're playing. You can even just bend the knees. Good. Shake out the shoulders. Now your palms are going to face the camera, and like you're trying to clap your hands together. And now we're going to pick up pace a little bit.
So even with the little weights relatively, I feel it quite a bit in my arms.
Cliff, we're just doing some shoulder warm up here. So palms are facing the camera. You're squeezing your shoulder blades back. We're picking up pace a little bit. If you cannot go fast, that's okay. Good. Shake them out. Now your palms are going to go up and the pinkies are facing forward, and we're doing the same thing here. So generally the shoulders will probably be feeling a little bit of a burn. Our shoulders, our deltoid muscles, which is these here, are 3D muscles. So us doing palms forward, thumbs, and pinkies, we're engaging a three-dimensional aspect of that muscle group. Good. Go ahead and shake those arms out. Now we're going alternating arms, and we're going up. Take your time, warm up a little bit, and from the side you'll see I can come straight to a level position with my body, or I can engage a little bit further if I've got that range of motion. And pick up pace a little bit if you can. Good. All right. This next one, you're going to need a little bit of space to your sides because we're going to be kicking off to the side. So I'm going to keep my toes pointed straight to you guys. And as I lift them up, I'm going to try to make sure that they don't go up this way. You're trying to keep them ahead. So you're trying to take your heel and go towards the ceiling. So we're just going to kick to the side here. And be nice and comfortable. Go at your own pace. Make sure you don't kick anyone next to you. Now, if you need balance assistance for any of the movements that we do, you can always grab a chair. Now I can really focus on just my leg drive versus worrying about if I'm going to take a tumble. And this is really working on your glutes. Your glutes are the butt muscles, your gluteus complex. Good. Take a little bit of a break. Next one we're doing is called a donkey kick. When a donkey feels threatened, the first thing they do is they take that back leg and they kick straight back. So that's what we're going to do as well. What we don't want is I don't want you to swing. I want you to pick up that knee like we were doing our high knees, and then you're going to take that heel and drive it straight back. And we're going to alternate here. Notice I'm not leaning forward too much. I'm keeping my balance and just really trying to drive that back leg as best as I can.
So we can also hold on, correct?
Yes, you can hold on to a table, a chair, a bed. And we want to make sure we're keeping our hips nice and level. So I don't want to rotate my hips this way. It's going to create an imbalance, but then too, you're not engaging the glutes like you really want to. So let's do a couple more here. Pick up the pace. This is a warm-up, so you should be feeling a slightly quicker breath, breathing a little bit heavier, working up a little bit of sweat. Good. Go ahead and relax, grab a drink of water.
That was just the warm-up,
That's
Dre?
just the warm-up.
Okay.
We're gonna let our bodies recover a little bit, so I'll ask for you to put those water bottles down. I'm gonna take my hand up like I'm Iron Man, or I'm telling someone to stop, and then I'm gonna take my fingers and I'm gonna bring them back nice and gently, and we're just gonna stretch a couple times here. Letting ourselves recover, catch our breath. Go ahead and switch to the opposite hand. You can do this finger by finger. So there's 1 finger, 2, 3. If you're typing a lot, if you're texting a lot, this stretch is one that you can do just sitting at your desk. It will decrease the amount of tension you feel in your elbow here. If you're feeling some numbness, tingling in those hands and those fingers, this can also help. We're going to do the opposite direction. So I'm going to take my hand now. I'm going to gently push down. You're going to hold for just a couple seconds. Let your hand come back to neutral, and then you drive your hand back down. So by now you should be somewhat recovered, breathing a little bit more normally. Your heart's not beating as fast, and we're going to start to transition into our workout. So today we're not going to need very much equipment. You're just going to need a TheraBand. So as Cliff and Dr. V keep stretching, today we will be doing movements for an entire minute. We're not going to be focused on a number of repetitions or speed. My only challenge to you throughout this workout is you just continue moving as best you can throughout that whole minute. So the first minute, we're going to do bicep curls. And you can go as fast as you want. You can go slower. You can alternate. But the goal is to move for an entire minute. And I'll be keeping a clock here on our end. And I'll give you guys a 10-second warning, a 5-second warning, so you can get ready to transition into the next movement. So as Dr. V and Cliff do their bicep curls to warm up and get used to the movement and their bands, I'm going to transition to our next movement. Once we finish our bicep curls, we're going to do some squats. So you're going to be about shoulder width apart. You're going to squat down. You're going to come back up. Your hands out in front will help you maintain balance. And the goal is to sit on the imaginary chair behind us. So for a whole minute, we will squat. And again, the challenge is not to do a certain number of repetitions or to go very fast. It is simply to move for the entire minute. So Cliff and AVD will continue their squats. They will find a sweet spot for their feet and their movement. And I will start to demonstrate the next movement. So this one, you will go from, you're going to wrap that TheraBand behind your back, and you're going to spread your arms out, and you're going to bring them out in front, like you're hugging yourself. And this one, we can do the same way we did our shoulder warm-up. The palms can be facing forward, the palms can be facing down, and then lastly, they can be facing up. Find a sweet spot for you. We're going to do that for a whole minute. And then the last movement we're going to do is called a deadlift or a good morning. So you're going to start very similar to a squat, except this time, instead of squatting all the way down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my hips and my butt high. I'm going to point them back. I'm going to reach my hands forward. And we're going to do that for a whole minute. And again, reaching those hands down and forward versus up. And what we can do is you can reach out in front of you You can also reach to the sides. And what you should feel is a big stretch of this posterior muscle called your hamstrings. We're only going to do that for 2 rounds. That means 8 minutes of work. It doesn't sound like much, but our challenge is to try to move the entire 8 minutes. So I'm going to give everyone a little bit of a break. Grab some water, find your equipment. If you don't have a TheraBand, you can use water bottles. You can use little weights at home. You can use towels. You can roll them up. And you can also do this just with body weight. So if you have nothing, we can just focus on our range of motion. Once you squeeze your bicep curls, you're just going to hold it. You're going to come down, come back up. And I would challenge you to go a little bit faster if you have no weights. And then for the chest, you would just come here, very much like we were doing with our shoulder warm-up. So with Cliff and Dr. V are ready, if you guys are ready, I'm going to set.
I can demo with some water bottles if you don't have TheraBands at home.
Perfect.
Take some water bottles or Coke cans.
But you should be drinking water. It's warm. All right, so we're going to count us down in 3, 2, 1. We're going in bicep curls. So 3, 2, 1, go. And I will give you a 10-second warning and a 5-second warning as the whole minute approaches. So first, bicep curls. I'm going to alternate.
So without the TheraBand, then I can move my hips a little bit, which I
Yeah.
love because it's just getting everything shaking.
And so as you go through this entire movement, making sure our elbows don't come away from our body. Sometimes we do our bicep curls like this, and that can create some stress in the elbows and the shoulders that we don't necessarily want. So making sure we keep them nice and tucked. And if you feel weird, you may feel like you can't go as high. That is okay. So we're approaching 10 seconds left here in our first minute. Good. Got 3 seconds left, and we're going to switch over to our squats. Go. So now we're doing a full minute of squats. So we're coming out in front. If you're nice and comfortable getting this slow, you can sit there for a second before you come back up. If you can only get this slow, that is okay. That is your version of the squat, and we will gladly take any range of motion we can get. So I'm going to pick up my speed a little bit for this first minute. I'm going to try to get a little bit more of a muscle burn. You got Cliff off to my right, focusing a little bit more on his range of motion and his balance. And Dr. V is picking up pace with me here. So we got 20 seconds left. So if you're getting tired here, go ahead and slow your pace down. Make sure you're catching your breath. And we got 10 seconds left in this second minute. And then we're going over into our chest flies. That's the movement where we're coming here. So in 2 seconds, and go. So either your TheraBand, water bottles, soup cans, or just body weight. So since I'm going body weight, I'm going to pick up speed. And if you were pushing your pace for those squats, this is a good opportunity for you to catch your breath, recover a little bit. So you want to take your deep breaths to your nose and out through the mouth to try to regulate that breathing pace. So there's 20 seconds left, so I'm going to switch my hand position, and now my thumbs are facing you all. Another version you can do with TheraBands, if you have that band across or behind your body, you can push out in front. So we got 3 seconds left. And now we're doing our deadlifts or good mornings. So you're keeping those hips high, pointing your booty backwards. You're reaching out in front. Good. Doing some multi-directional reaches there. You can reach with one hand. You can reach with both. You can reach out in front. You can focus on just your hips, keeping your hands on your hips, and making sure that as you stand up, you're squeezing your glutes at the top. Getting a nice little contraction in the back. An unknown fact about the glute complex that it is primarily responsible for a lot of our single leg balance. So the more we can activate these, the better we can become on a single leg. And if you think about all the times that you're walking, how much time you're actually spending on one leg throughout the day. So we've got 3 seconds left, and now we're switching back to our bicep curls. So grab your TheraBand, your weights, your resistance, no resistance, and now we go again for a full minute. This is the start of our second round. So we're almost done.
My heart rate is up.
Yeah.
That's good.
So keep it going, keep it going. If you can throw in a knee bend and start generating a little bit more power that way. So as we get tired, the more we can use our legs.
Ray, can you explain for those who have a device to measure their pulse?
Yeah.
What do you think should they be by now? And
so that's a tough one. It's a great question. And to give individualized answers, I'd love to speak to any of you. So 5 seconds, and then we move on to squats. Everyone has a resting heart rate and squats. Everyone has a resting heart rate, so we're going to say that mine is 80 beats per minute. And as you exercise, your heart rate's going to go up. Now, your heart rate can go up different ranges depending on your age, your ethnicity, your activity levels. There's a lot of factors that play into it. So right now, Dr. V is probably sitting at around 120, 140 beats a minute.
106?
Oh, 106. So she's not pushing to her intensity, and she might know her max heart rate. And your max heart rate has to be carefully identified by a medical professional. And one of the definitions of true fitness is if I can get to my max heart rate, how quickly can I come back to my resting heart rate? So if my resting is 80 beats and my max is 180, how quickly can I come back to 80 after I reach my max? All right, we're going into our chest flies. Here we go. So it's a tough question to answer generically, because I don't want to give anyone an idea that all three of us right now probably have different heart rates. Dr. V's at 106. I think my exercising heart rate's around 115, 120, and then I would have to check Cliff's to see where he's at.
Is there sort of a formula I remember, but I don't know if I'm correct? Your
Yeah.
max heart rate, like 200 minus age, does that still hold? Is that?
It's an easy way to calculate a rough estimate. I think I would have to look back at the literature and see how accurate that is, but it's not terribly accurate. The formula would be 220 minus your age. So 220 minus 27, which is my age, is 193 beats per minute would be my max. But I think I get over 200. And you can,
wow.
Okay, last one, deadlifts and good morning. So we're reaching out in front. And you can train for a higher max heart rate. That means your heart is able to pump out more blood consistently and at a high rate to meet the demands of exercise. That means the more you exercise and the more activity you engage in, your heart is becoming stronger and more efficient to deliver blood to the muscles across the body. And that reduces the risk for heart failure down the road as we age. We're all huffing and puffing on our end. I hope you are too. We're also sweaty. And we're coming up on 10 seconds left in our last minute.
Okay, and counting.
All right, that's 3 seconds. One more, and we're done.
And
Whew.
how's recalculating my heart rate?
Yeah, so
So just something.
if you want to cool down, what you can do as you're here is I want you to keep your feet together. And I'm going to have you take your right hand and you're just going to reach down towards the ground, towards your toes. If you can touch your toes, awesome. If you cannot, we're reaching towards them. And then you'll take your left hand and reach down towards the ground. Take your time. All three of us are moving a little bit quickly. So I'm going to slow down my pace, let my body recover a little bit. Then I'm engaging in some stretching here. So as you reach down and across, you should be feeling a nice stretch on the outer portion of the legs. Maybe you'll feel it in your calves a little bit.
Ray, is that what they call active stretching because we move? Or
Yeah, so stretching after activity is always important. Some people call it a cool down. Some people call it a warm down. You don't typically want to go from doing a lot of exercise and just stopping. You want to mobilize. You want to keep moving a little bit after you engage in rigorous activity. And a lot of people usually ask, well, how can I reduce how sore I am the next day? And this is the best way to do it. Soreness comes from, it's called delayed onset muscle soreness. And so that can range anywhere from, if we exercise today, we might not be sore tomorrow. We may not be sore on Wednesday, but we could be sore all the way up until Thursday. And the best way to reduce soreness is to stretch after your workout or stretch the day after and do a lot of the same movements. So tomorrow, if you're feeling sore in your quads, your hamstrings, or in your glutes, one of the things you want to do is you actually want to do some more squats. You don't have to do very many, but you just have to get those muscles moving. And that'll decrease the amount of soreness. So this cool down, you can really just play with it. Make it very personalized. It doesn't have to be related to the workout we just did. Just listening to your body and feeling any tight areas in your body, any muscle groups that might need a little bit of love. And if you have any questions on how to stretch a certain part, a certain muscle, or if you have a little bit of a restriction and you don't know how to stretch a muscle, let us know. You can reach out, work with you, either myself or our physical therapist, Peter. So for this next one, I'm just going to show you guys if you want to engage in it. Don't necessarily bend your back, or you're reaching up and back, creating a very natural bend in the back. And that's going to stretch the front portion, our abdomen, our core, our six-pack muscles.
what happens to the head? Stays in line with the arms?
Yeah,
or-
you want to point your eyes up, but you don't want to let your head fall back. One of the nice, or the cool things about the body is it wants to go wherever the eyes go, or are pointing or headed. So if I'm facing down, my body naturally will go forward. And if I'm facing all the way back, my body wants to get underneath my head. So being conscious of where your eyes are and the head level is very important. I'm throw in some rotation here. And as you stretch, as you reach, you want to exhale your breath. You want to breathe out. So as we come to a close here, that was 30 minutes of movement that we did.
Ooh.
It may not feel like a lot, but you were moving for 28 minutes of that. Took very little break, and that's a very good way to just kind of get the blood flowing, the heart moving, and pumping blood a little bit more. Now the important things after this are to make sure you drink a lot of water, make sure you're stretching throughout the day. Make sure you stretch tomorrow, exercise tomorrow. If you guys need any exercise programs, let us know. Reach out to Cliff, and he can get you in touch with us. And we've got other tutorials and videos coming up throughout the week, so I'll let Dr. B speak on those.
Yeah, so this week on Wednesday morning, I'll just come on. Kevin, our LVN, and myself will just discuss certain importance or topics of importance or relevance, and you can ask questions via chat. On Wednesday afternoon, we have our mask making session. It's live. So this time we will show you how to make extensions for the masks. You know, sometimes these bands here start to wear on your ears, and so we'll show you how to make from extensions. with various tools. And then on Thursday, we have Peter, our physical therapist, giving you some postural and exercise advice in the morning. And in the afternoon, it's social hour with Adrian, our social worker. And so join and yeah, come on, connect with us. We'll be looking forward. And sorry we sound all a little muffled through our masks, but it is important. Social distancing, masks, and hand washing, disinfection. Hang on. We all should do this. I'll just put disinfectant on my hands. And
Yeah.
let's be very clean, or even better, wash your hands after exercise, after you have touched equipment, bands, water bottles. Just be sure you wash them, disinfect them, sanitize them. Okay?
We have Sabrina Jackson saying, awesome to see all of you. Thank you for the exercises. Thank you, Sabrina, for showing up. And WBB, great routine workout. I'll add it to my routine.
Perfect.
Thank you guys
That's
for all
very
showing
good.
up.
And you also can go back to those shows that have been recorded, so you get more variety. Okay?
See you next
See
week.
you next week.
Next week.
Looking forward.
Stay safe.
Oh, man.
That was nice. Very good.